What's good, everybody, and welcome back to Wrestle Theory. And today we're going to talk about the TLC match from Friday. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. So, this was the first TLC match for the titles that we've seen on TV in 5 years. Quite frankly, I think this may have been the best one since the infamous Hardy Boy, Dudley Boy, and Edge and Christian matches. I don't think it's even close. So the expectations were certainly high. These are three teams that are high flying, very talented, and have done a really good job at making you feel disgust for one another, right? The storyline has been fantastic. And like Wade said, this match had the potential to outdo everything that we saw WrestleMania 41, and I believe it delivered. Some key things, though, really, there's a lot of things in this match, guys, but Angelo Dawkins is fantastic, but I really think this was a coming out party for him. He was an absolute beast. I thought he was the MVP of the match. I really think he just set himself apart. Because he's always been exciting, right? But when we talk about the Street Profits, we talk about Montez Ford a lot, right? He's the high flyer. He's all over the place. He has the energy. But Dawkins, to me, really stole the show in that aspect, in that regard. Like, he seemed to up his game. So I'm going to give him the MVP of the match. A lot of notable spots here, yeah. That Montez corner dive onto the floor, just absolute spectacle, right? His athleticism is just off the charts. The Johnny Wrestling spinning flatliner off the top to Montez, off the top of the ladder. And then here comes Dawkins, like I said. Gargano sets up the two chairs, turns the backs, puts them together, and then, of course, Dawkins counters and winds up throwing Gargano onto the back of those two chairs. And then Montez using a fan's prosthetic leg, I thought was pretty funny. Like, it was very, very entertaining match and very violent. That's what I loved about this, right? We love the stories, but we're there to see someone's butt get kicked, right? And I thought they did very good. Like, this whole match, just start to finish, was just, cringeworthy at times, and I loved it. We even seen kind of a semi-headshot, right? I don't remember who it was, but someone was about to do a suicide dive and just lands headfirst into a chair. I loved it. Wasn't quite a swing, but, because they don't really let them do the headshots anymore, but I thought that was a good way to kind of sneak that in there. Some more notable spots. We had Ciampa sending Montez through a ladder with the white noise. I thought that was a pretty good spot there. And then the Motor City Machine Guns hitting the Skull and Bones to Gargano through a table. Those are some of the notable spots I had. Some callbacks, and I'm sure I missed some, but, we had the Street Profits doing the Dudley Boys, get the tables gimmick, which I really wanted them to do a 3D. I know that they're protective of their finisher, so I don't know if they even asked or, if they did, if they got permission, didn't get permission. Don't know if they thought about that at all, but, the Street Profits I can see as a team getting the blessing, if you will, to use a 3D in that match, but so that's kind of disappointing. But hey, it is what it is. That doesn't make or break the match. We had Dawkins spearing Ciampa off the ladder onto a table, so that calling back to the Edge spear to Jeff Hardy, and then it's a tiny one, and it happened at the beginning of the match, pretty much like it did in the TLC2 match at WrestleMania 17. We had the Motor City Machine Guns use the Edge and Christian to Matt Hardy crotch jump, if you will, in the corner. So for those of us that are true wrestling fans and have been watching this for a while, because we're on WrestleMania 41 going into 42 now. We're talking about WrestleMania 17. So some people may not know what I'm talking about here, but the callbacks and the respect that I seen for what came before was really good to see. All three of these teams, I don't care if they're heels, baby faces, I don't care if you like them, dislike them, I don't care. They all have my respect for this. I hope they get a part two. I think the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys, I think they had, 2 or 3. Like, they need to do another one. If they don't want to do just these 3 teams, swap it up and have the New Day. I think they would be great contestants to do a TLC match with this group, or a mixture of the 3 teams, right? Something else, obviously the finisher. The finish really needed to be done right. And I loved what they did, because usually we've seen it time and time again in ladder matches and stuff like that. Someone gets caught in between the rungs of the ladder, and it's pretty much over. But I love the little twist with Montez climbing up the sides of it, and then, being able to ultimately grab the titles and get the victory for the Street Profits. I thought that was pretty creative. I've personally never seen that before. I could be wrong. But then again, some of these ladder matches and TLC matches haven't been that entertaining. It's because they've been just like a ladder climb fest and nothing creative. So I really liked what they did here, because there was a lot of time spent in this match just fighting. No one even worrying about the titles. They're just letting each other have it. And that's what I really enjoyed about, again, that TLC 1 and TLC 2 match with the Dudleys, Hardys, and Edge and Christian. They just gave the fans a show, right? It wasn't like a hurry up and get this over with. I don't want to, hit these spots and get hurt. I'm not saying that's not exactly what they were doing, but just whoever produced this match, and then I'm sure they had a lot of creative freedom in this too. They really know, in this particular case, they knew what the fans wanted, and they did a really good job paying homage to those matches. So did they meet the expectation? Yes. I've given that answer away all throughout the video. They exceeded my expectations. But I think they definitely answered the bell here. And I just thought it was I thought it took a step forward. It was very innovative. They found some new things. They found some new way of doing stuff. And that's how it should be. This class of superstar is much more high-flying, much more athletic. It's not all, big, guys with, like hella muscles and, Vince McMahon's you got to be the biggest man and be the biggest star. And, like, these cats are lean. They can fly all over the place. They can really take stuff and take spots that were done in the past and up them a notch. So like the spear through the table, right? It was a level up because Jeff Hardy didn't go through a table, right? And the skull and bones onto a table off the ring apron. Sure, that probably could have been done by Jeff Hardy or Matt Hardy in that match. I don't know that Edge and Christian and definitely Devon and Bubba Ray were going to be able to do stuff like that, right? But they still did stuff that you didn't think they could do. And these guys today, in this particular match, did things that we know they probably can do, but we just haven't seen. And the level of brutality that they brought out and shown each other, I thought was fantastic. Again, it was great fan service there. And I just cannot say enough good things about this. And again, I hope we get another one of these. Or if it is a mixture of different teams, I hope this can be the template. and that they keep creating some more memorable matches like this, especially if you're going to go extreme. Because I think that sometimes those matches kind of get boring, at least as of late. So because there's all kinds of things they can't do anymore. There's shots they can't take, which is understandable, right? We're not wanting anybody to get hurt or anything like that, but it's some of the restrictions on what they're allowed to do now, it's kind of dumbed it down. But I thought this group here again found different ways to play within the rules, stretch them, and give fans a memorable experience. But you guys, please tell me what you thought in the comments. Please like the video, and please go subscribe to all the socials, and be on the lookout for the next video on the channel. All the links to the socials are on the channel's main page. And stay tuned for the next episode, guys. I'm Chase. This is Wrestle Theory, and we'll catch you on the next one.